Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of Louder. Last week we talked about what the Bible means when it talks about God's eyes. This week we're going to talk about God's hands. What does that mean? What does that look like for us today? Let's get started. The world and distractions are constantly getting louder around us. What if the gospel rose above all of that? Join us as we challenge ourselves to know God more and to make the gospel louder in our own lives and in the community around us. May the gospel get louder. So last week we talked about God's eyes and how he can see everything and he sees exactly what we're going through and he knows what we're feeling. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about God's active involvement in creation and how he engages in our lives today. Now, in a time that seems very out of control and we're not sure exactly what's going to happen, we can trust in God knowing what is happening and what's going to happen, but we can also trust in a God that is in complete control of the situation and is working through it. So why do we say that? We see in Psalm 19, check it out on your own, but it says that the heavens declare the glory of God and the skies proclaim his handiwork. Skies proclaim the work of his hands. Not hands like ours, but the Bible talks about God's hands in the way that he interacts and engages with creation and in our lives. The Bible talks about God's hands and how he provides, creates, and protects his creation, the people that he loves. So there's a saying by a guy named Bruce Ware that I really appreciate. He said that if God made it, then he owns it. And if he owns it, then he rules over it. So we see this description of God's hands being talked about in a lot of different instances in Scripture. But I want to talk about one in Job chapter 12. And we can talk about the whole story of Job later, but Job says this in chapter 12, verse 10. In his hand is the life of every creature and the breath of all mankind. So what does that mean for God to have the life and the breath of all creation in his hand? It means that God is in control of everything. It means that in a world that seems out of control, in a world that we have so little control of, God is in complete control. Yes, God has given us free will, but God is in sovereign control over everything in the world. There's nothing that happens outside of God's plan. There's nothing that can surprise God that happens. There's nothing that can catch God off guard. And we can trust in him and we can rely on him even when things are uncertain. So as I'm thinking about this time that we're in and how we can make the gospel louder in our own lives, I want to challenge you with this one thing. That if God is in complete control of this situation and if God has placed you in the exact environment and circumstance that you're in right now, what is he doing in that? Yes, we live in a broken world that sin causes a lot of things, but we know that God is still in control. So what are you seeing in your life that God might be using this situation or whatever situation you might be going through right now that it seems like it's out of control? What is God doing in that? How can you trust him in that? But not just trusting God, but falling deeper into your relationship with him as you grow and learn and walk with him. So you may be in a time right now where you're scared, you're uncertain, things aren't going the way that you want them to, or maybe you're just frustrated and annoyed with whatever is going on in your life right now. But I challenge you with this: trust God with his control of your life and the situation that we're in right now. And look for how he's using that and how he is working in the things that seem out of control. And allow that to guide your focus and your mindset back to him and make the gospel louder in your own life and allow that to flow into making the gospel louder in the community around you. So that's all I have to share with us today. I hope you guys are doing well. We miss you guys. We hope to see you soon. So thanks for joining us. Have a great day. We'll see you guys later.